hear
What
it?
up?
What's good?
Wait, hold on. Dímelo.
Dímelo.
¿Qué lo que?
¿Cómo se va?
¿Qué lo que, mani? I want to be extra Dominican on this episode
Okay.
because I revoked my Dominican card from the last episode
Why?
because I called it the DR.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we have liquor to celebrate once again because we're taking trips.
Yes, we are.
Salud.
Salud.
But
This is like a tradition now.
no, it's definitely a tradition. Oh, we didn't even drink. Hold on. It's bad
Uh-huh.
luck if we. But it's episode 20. And
Episode 20.
no, the thing is, you don't have Henny, so you're also revoked. That's what I was getting to. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, I never... Well, I was a big fan of Henny, but Maker's Mark is our thing now.
But ever since what you said last time, for the people that are listening in,
Mm-hmm.
Jay had a really cool conspiracy that I mess with, where he said French people are trying to kill Haitian and Dominican people very slowly because they know that they love cognac, and that Hennessy is one of the biggest suppliers, blah, 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 and this is what's been happening. And Ciroc.
Yeah, man. So if you haven't listened to that one, go back and listen to episode 19. We cracked the case.
Oh, man.
Dun, 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 dun,
I must
dun.
apologize vocally for this episode because I feel like my allergies are killing. So you'll probably hear me sneezing and sniffling, and I feel that's going to get really annoying.
He's hiding the idea that he does cocaine in the bathroom before the episode.
That's the only way we stay up.
Anyway, episode 20 of the Terrible Reception Podcast. What's up, everyone? As usual, head over to the YouTube if you're not there already.
Yes.
Like, subscribe, turn on the little bell notification so you get a notification every time we post a new video. I actually just finished wrapping up the episode 19 video because I've been so busy the last few days just packing and getting ready for this trip.
You know what, though? It's funny. Jay's really dedicated to the podcast, and I have to say, this was the first guy, when I approached Jay back in the day, and I said, Jay, what if we had a podcast? He's like, we're doing too much already. I'm like, nah, listen, like, we could get out there. He's like, no. And it's funny, you're the one now that kind of, I would say you're more of a director of this.
This is my baby.
This podcast, like, you're more the director. Like, I know, like, I like to direct whatever I do, like, even when it comes to music and stuff. But this podcast, you know, has been Jay's baby. So
I'm the stay-at-home mom, and you're the dad that goes to work, and I nurture the baby.
I really have to say, like, you know, like, I appreciate your time and effort, your dedication to the podcast, because, you know, it gets done. It gets done. We get episodes out. You're behind every episode editing.
Yeah, trying, man.
Applause.
We out here, man. We out here.
No, it's crazy. I really think about it. It's like sometimes I don't understand how we get everything done. And I'm not saying that in a cocky sense. I'm just like, I feel like we give everybody their time, or we give concentration to like our clients, and then we give concentration to ourselves.
Right.
And there's just a great balance, and I think that's like a blessing that's hard to find.
Amen.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you for that.
No, it's cool. Like, it's not easy. Because I know some days, like, even today, like, you know, I get off in my tangents. Like, before Jay came, I was, like, busy. I felt like spring cleaning. So, like, before I leave the house, anytime I go on vacation, I want to make sure the house is clean for everybody or whatever. Or anybody comes back, you feel good, you know? And it's just, like, I see Jay here. He's dedicated. He's editing his photos from other clients, and then he's hopping to the podcast. And then once he's done with that, we do that. And, you know, because not only it's like my only job is photography and videography. I made it that way. But you have multiple things going on, you know, during the day.
Too many things.
Yeah, during the day you have your 9 to 5, and you know, it's a lot.
My unconventional 9 to 5.
It's a lot.
It's too much.
Yeah, man. So
that's why I'm trying to make this the bread and butter.
Yeah, you could be lazy in the morning. You know, you got your diet in. People don't understand. Like, Jay should be. You feeling it? No, Jay. Like, there's. I'm gonna take episode 20 to talk about Jay a lot because.
Oh man.
It's because I'm proud of. I think I said it one podcast before, but I mean it. It's kind of one of those things where there's, you know, you can fall in love with people's potential, or you can be there to experience it, in the sense that you're seeing your progress that anybody would think the highest of you. Like, if people have good intentions for you, like, we're all witnessing your health. We're witnessing, you know, your transformation. Personally, as your business partner, I'm witnessing your evolution with how you direct and you perform with a camera. Your editing skills, I feel like you've even surpassed me in a lot of things with Photoshop. You know, now you're being able to travel. You're getting your own gigs. You're getting us gigs. And it's like, you know, it's just an awesome thing. And that's what makes the team feel even more superior. You know what I'm saying? Because we're both like a problem, you know, like we're on the same side. It's like
two-headed monster.
It's like the Greek and the Romans came together and they said, all right, let's start conquering everybody else, you know?
Let's fuck everyone up.
Nah, but honestly, like, you know, if you guys are listening in, you know, toast with your coffee in the morning, give one to Jay. Or if it's nighttime, get a little, you know, a little whiskey yourself, a little nightcap.
Yes,
and
thanks to that, sir. Appreciate you.
Yes.
I was listening to one of the podcasts that I listened to. Shout out to the Miseducated podcast, and they did some really nice thing. I don't know if they've done it in multiple episodes. I've been skipping around on episodes, but today I was listening to their most recent one. I think it's episode 8.
Okay.
And at one point, and this is the one with the 4, I think it's 4 or 5 guys.
Okay.
Shout out to Jimmy and the boys, but they sometimes they break out in music.
Okay.
In song. It's so funny. They like, I don't know if they planned this, but they synchronized like singing.
Yeah.
But in the one episode that I listened to, they all said it at the same time. We believe in you, which I found was pretty fucking dope.
That is dope.
Well, they all like literally simultaneously said, "We believe in you."
That's interesting.
To one of the other guys. So I wanted to shout that out and you know, just bring up the idea that 9 times out of 10, you and I are our own support systems when it comes to certain things.
I think about the people that don't have that. Imagine how you feel like down sometimes and like you really want to quit. Imagine like you or I weren't there for each other. That's got to be the toughest part.
I would have quit a long time ago.
Right? It's
or
crazy.
jumped off a bridge.
Oh my God. No, it's tough. It really is tough. Like I can't emphasize it enough because I guess like, I don't know. There's this disillusion of like what the industry is and what having your own business is and stuff. And like, you know, there's very far and few that I could say that are really successful. There are ones, and then we look to those people, but it's like, you know, it's a rarity on those levels that we're witnessing. So like to anybody that again can balance all that stuff, do it well, and still have time for their friends and family, like again, hats off to you. You know,
Word.
It's not easy owning your own business. I've seen some people lose their businesses, and it's like heartbreaking because they've literally put so much to the side, so much money into it, and
blood, sweat, and tears. Kind of going on a positive note.
Yeah.
Steer it right back to positivity.
Do it. I mean, it's positive. It's just like, hopefully they start over. You know?
Hopefully. Let me toot our horns real quick, because if we don't toot it, nobody else will.
Okay.
Our photography website is up.
Yes.
Officially up and running.
Oh my God. I was really proud of that. I keep visiting it. Like, it's alive now.
You gave me some praise. I'm giving you some praise.
Hey, I appreciate that.
Because you busted your ass with that website.
Yeah, man. I saw it a certain way, and it's like I didn't touch it for like 3 months because I said I just wanted like certain I guess this is the word, cleanliness, organization to it. I wanted it to be minimal, but I also wanted it to be like, you know, powerful.
It had that wow factor to
it.
Yeah.
So like I definitely achieved what I wanted, and I think it's a great representation of us. Like I really feel like that's going to solidify a lot of things for us for this year. You know, just having like, it's the littlest thing. Like Jay and I just got business cards made too.
Yeah.
So to have business cards plus a website, like it's like our tripods. It's not something you're excited to invest in, but it's so useful.
But when you need it,
it's
the best thing ever.
It's the best thing ever.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Speaking of tripod, I went to Jersey City and I guess we talk a lot about photography in this episode, but
yeah,
I went to Jersey City for like a little walkthrough with shout out to Charles.
Charles. Cav the creator.
Nice. And I've known him for years on Instagram.
Okay.
Because we met her through Barlone. Remember Barlone?
Yes.
Biomag people.
He's the one who did the photography?
I believe so.
Interesting.
Yeah. So the Biomag people. And yeah, we've always talked about like meeting up and just shooting or whatever, just learning from each other and stuff like that. So we finally linked up in Jersey City. He drove out of Jersey City. I met up with him after work one day, and we just got a bunch of landscape shots, just the skyline, a couple buildings, and just simple things like that. And it's like a whole different beast, man.
Yeah.
Like I thought I knew everything about what I needed, the basics as far as photography, but I learned so much that day. So, and then I left that day kind of discouraged because I was like, and I was asking him a lot of questions. Like, listen, what do you look for? Like, what do you think is like the perfect shot?
Yeah.
And when you're walking through, like, what do you know? How do you know that's the perfect shot?
Gotcha.
And he just told me, just go with whatever you feel and whatever you want to portray and whatever you want other people
to
feel.
Well, it's interesting because, some people might put landscape, and when you think of landscape, you're thinking about like mountainous areas and stuff like that. But yeah, it is skylines and stuff like that. So it almost kind of is it street photography? Is it like it's a mixture?
I was towards the end because I was trying to figure out because landscape, and I was thinking landscape was more mountains and rivers and waterfalls and stuff like that. So I was started to call it cityscapes at the end.
Oh, okay.
It's like
I like that.
You know what I mean? Because I couldn't find the right word for it. I don't know if it
area.
is.
It's an urban area. There's buildings in the way.
Right. So, but yeah, I left that day kind of discouraged because I thought I didn't get any good shots. Like I knew I got one really good shot.
Look at the turnaround.
Yeah, and I had maybe 8 or 9.
Yeah.
That I had, and I posted 6 of them.
You know what's nice though? But like it's like you're almost you're getting an appreciation for different types of photographers or photography.
Exactly.
And I think like that is kind of like as important as like in hip hop culture, when it's like when you study the greats, when you know the history of hip hop, when you know the different genres, I guess, of hip hop or rap or in general, it's kind of like once you know that, you can become a better artist. Right. You can perfect your craft.
And you could kind of get thrown into any kind of scenario and prevail, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's like, I feel I haven't like found my niche.
Okay.
As far as photography is concerned, but I do love candid shots.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm always like the behind the scenes guy. I love getting people in their element without them posing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
that's why I know like, and it's funny, I'm seeing that plus the technical aspect, because you reach for the 70 to 200. And that's like the sniper lens. So I can see when you're either filming or shooting with that lens, you're getting the best work.
Oh yeah.
Because it's what you just explained, it's matching that.
Right.
It's the perfect weapon.
Discreet.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, it's perfect. I mean, for everything that I've done recently, I use the 70 to 200 for the landscape shots. I used the 70 to 200 for that video I did.
Yes.
For Wes. Shout out to Wes.
Yes. That was incredible. Like honestly, like it felt like what I liked about that short, and I don't know if it's resonating with anybody else, but it was giving me the essence of maybe what people saw in like a Rocky trailer for the first time. Yeah. Like it was giving me that. It was raw. It was just like, it felt like boxing culture.
Yeah. It's funny because I appreciated that because I was actually, because I grew up watching wrestling and boxing and stuff like that. And that was actually the first time I actually climbed under the ropes and stepped into a boxing ring.
But you know what it is too? Like I feel like within art, within creation, whether it's music or photography or whatever we're talking about, I feel that's that thing I'm always talking about where I'm like, you're trying to capture some essence of nostalgia that you kind of remember. And you're incorporating that. You're like, what makes, in my mind, this boxing epicness? Yeah. So, like, I'm seeing that now through your work, which is dope.
And that's a perfect explanation to one of the shots that I really, really loved of when, if you've watched the video, anybody listening, but there's this one clip that I had in in my mind the whole time I was there.
Yeah.
Because I saw him from far away and I saw him climbing into the ring, and I thought, oh, maybe I could get a shot of him climbing into the ring and kind of get like a first person view of somebody climbing into the ring and then jumping out.
That was genius.
And it actually worked out nicely, which was really dope.
It was sick. No, now that you're in that thought process, it's just, oh man, I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited to see everything that you come out with, because it's different. It's not like we're working on the same projects and we know what we're capturing. Like I look forward to your gig work when you come and you show me like, hey, this is what I shot. Yeah. And then like, I don't know, it's just I love it.
It's funny because I go on these gigs and my aim is to like try to wow you with something.
You definitely
it's like a kid trying to like impress his dad type of thing.
No, but honestly, like again, you've been doing an incredible job. You know, I'll never bullshit you with that. Like I've told you when something.
Yeah, you would tell me straight up.
Straight up. But like honestly, you've reached a new level where, again, I'm seeing you in you grow into your own form, man. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, man.
Long ways.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. But yeah, man,
it's gonna be a good year, 2020.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just got to get more gigs.
Yeah. That's it.
Speaking of gigs, we just locked in that wedding in California.
Yeah, which is super dope.
So dope. Shout out to Rosanna.
Yes.
She's a big supporter of our photography and music.
When you expand like that, I think this has been the year of getting hired and getting booked to do overseas gigs, to do traveling gigs, and it becomes a reality. And soon maybe that'll feel like, whatever. But for now, it's got that brand new excitement. Like when I went to Bali for a client, amazing.
So dope, right?
We're going to Cali. You have a client coming up in Portugal.
Yeah, man.
Just amazing.
I always forget about it. I was like, yo, this trip. I'm always excited about this trip. And I'm like, yo, vacation. I was like, oh, I got a gig while I'm out there.
It's crazy.
That's so wild, man.
And it's funny because, you know, you always hear rappers or like athletes. They're always like, yo, I do what I love and it's taking me around the world. And it's true. Like if for some reason when you end up doing what you love, it just resonates with people and you end up in the wildest places.
And it's with the right timing too, because I know people can get out there. People out there can get a little discouraged when it comes to things, and they can feel like their time is not, you know, things are not working out. You know what I mean? Because I've been down in the dumps so many times where I was like, damn, I left my full-time job. I'm working this per diem job where it doesn't pay as much. It's not as secure. Yep. It's like we'll have gigs sprinkled here and there. And I'm like, damn, did I make the right decision? I'm like, no, I'm toughing this through.
You have to.
And then I'm like, damn, I work pretty much every day in the month of July just to save up for this trip. Because if I don't work, I don't get paid. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But all those miniature sacrifices, like you can see, like where can you say, even within your own profession and like I guess 9-to-5 job, they've never sent you out to Cali or paid you for it. Nah. It's like that's the exciting part. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna get to, because it's like I was so worried about all these things, and I was just like praying. I was like, please bless me with something, because I know I made the right decision. I know I'm going down the right path. And then it was like somebody booked me for the engagement shoot while we're out there. The family of the groom. That's some money that I keep in my pocket. And then they were like, oh, if you do an extra video, you know, if you do like a little video or whatever, we'll throw you some extra money. I was like, I bet. Video it is. And then I worked this birthday gig a couple of days ago, this past Saturday. Yeah. And it's, we agreed on one price and they gave me more. And I'm like, that's another blessing. And I'm like, God damn, this thing is like working out.
Those are the best. Like, honestly, when you do the family gigs, you know, the tips are nice sometimes. When it's a good family, if they tip and stuff like that.
Yeah. And I appreciated it too, because it was like we agreed on a certain price, and when he Venmoed me the money, I was like, didn't we agree on this price? He was like, yeah, but I know the work that you put in, I know the sacrifices that you make to make this happen. So I'm like, damn, now I'm gonna go even more above and beyond to make sure that these photos are dope.
Exactly.
So, you know, it's just the little things that I appreciated. And then, you know, I got that birthday gig when I get back, which is super dope.
Jay's trying to tell you he's booked. He secured several bags.
There's a BBB brand, right? It's Big Baller brand, but for us is Boys Booked and Busy.
Ooh,
the boys are booked and busy.
Booked and busy. Nah, it's been great, man. Like I have a gig Thursday. I'm shooting another dancer in New York, I'm gonna make a crazy. I just gotta send him a camera. Yeah, video. So like, I've been excited because it's like a whole nother level of quality, professionalism.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, I don't know.
I guess we could segue into talking about creepy photographers.
Oh no.
The epidemic that's been going on for such a long time, but now coming into the light.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, I think I probably tons of before this guy, but I think the first one on blast was Terry Richardson.
Right.
That's what I remember. And Terry Richardson, he's worked with, I mean, you think of Harper's Bazaar, GQ, Vogue, most celebrities, Miley Cyrus. It doesn't matter. It could be like Naomi Campbell, tons of them. But yeah, he was put out there red-handed and just messing with girls, trying to make them do things that they didn't want to do.
People are so stupid, man. Oh, man. But the thing I hate about that is like, these people get put on these particular platforms and then they take advantage of it. It's kind of like statutory rape in a sense.
It is.
So it's like a abuse of power type of thing. You know, it's like, just because you have several 100,000 followers, you're going to use that to your advantage and try to get nudes or...
Yeah, it's not even for the art. It's not like you're pushing it for the art. You're like, you have to get naked. This is going to sell.
Yeah.
It's like, get naked because...
For me.
Yeah.
For my spank bang.
Yeah. It's funny, like, I know a lot of photographers in this game that like they've pulled that. I've been on the phone with other creepy photographers, and it's just like...
We know a couple creepy photographers and have been kind of confirmed in our conversation earlier.
If you see a guy saying he's a professional, he has a T2I, run away.
Damn.
I'm just saying.
What if there's a nice young man getting into the game with a T2I?
He's a nice young man. He's trying to get into the game. If this guy says he's a professional and he has a T2I,
I see the difference.
You run the other way.
Okay.
Run the other way.
Yeah, man. But no, I hate that. And, you know, as I was reading about all these things that came up and, you know, just my comparison to actually statutory rape, it pisses me off. And I'm like, I thank God that these girls are having the courage to put these guys on blast because get these fuckers out of here and let us slide in there. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy. I've talked to so many women, so many models that one, either the profession, their love and their passion has been disturbed, where they no longer want to even be in the game.
Right.
They rather do something completely opposite because they've had these encounters. You know, I've heard it too many times, like, and I always, like I said in the past, I said it's honorable when I've had these females say, I feel comfortable with you, this and that. You never take advantage of that, ever. And, you know, this is where we sincerely create art. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have somebody's vulnerability with you should never be taken advantage of. You should always understand that if this person is taking the extra step to expose themselves or get into a comfort zone that they would within the intimacy of their own home with you for the sake of art, in the sense that just because maybe you have to get topless to add to the mood because that I would say that portrait or that picture of being exposed, it's kind of like it almost goes into American Psycho, right? I learned in photography class or cinematography class in school that when somebody is naked, it means that they are more vulnerable.
Right.
So if you're trying to portray vulnerability, sure, it's going to be naked, because if you see somebody behind the shower curtain and like a knife is coming, like that nakedness, like you feel different in clothes if you were getting like attacked versus naked.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? So again, when it comes to this, just again, males and females, you know what I'm saying? Like, look out for yourself, know who you're working with. I always tell my models and my clients, if you have to, come save up more, pay out of pocket, but work with photographers that are dedicated to the style you're going for.
Yeah.
Don't just shoot with anybody just because it's free. Free is not always worth it.
Right.
So if you take the extra time and your money to research these photographers, shoot with them to build your portfolio, and always bring a friend. You know,
I was gonna say, let's give some tips and tricks of how to avoid certain things.
Always bring a friend. You're able to speak up as a model. I know the photographer. The photographer is always going to be admin on his vision and things like that, but it's always a 50-50 tango. It's a collaboration,
right? And
you should have
as much say
as a photographer. If you're starting to feel a bad vibe, it's like anything else in life. You should stop it. You should maybe say, hey, maybe we should go over this again. Maybe we weren't clear. Yeah. Speak up for yourself, and don't let it ruin your experience.
Right.
Because it can be very disheartening. It can be very discomforting, and you don't want that.
Yeah. And I mean, going back to where you were saying, like the nakedness and the vulnerability, we've done that several times on shoots where it's like we're trying to get a particular shot and we would ask the model, like, hey, listen, we're not going to shoot you, we're not going to take any photos of you, you know, naked, but, you know, just for the sake of the shot and the way it's kind of set up, we're going to ask you if you're comfortable with it 100%. It's okay if you're not. So, you know, cover yourself if you'd like, you know, but just have like that openness, I guess, for the lack of a better term, you know, because, you know, if we're trying to capture a certain vibe, we want to put everybody in the situation in that certain vibe to capture that particular thing, just for the art. You know what I'm saying?
I had like several models, like sometimes I'd be their first time where they are getting fully naked in front of the camera or something like that. They just said that they trust me. I've shot the photos. I personally thought the photos came out incredibly well. Once the client reviewed the photos, they still said they were uncomfortable releasing them. Sometimes you will go through this, and this goes for the photographers. Don't get frustrated. It's better when all parties are happy and accepting of the work, rather than you forcing some work out and really doing somebody dirty by exposing the photos, or whatever the case may be.
Because at the end of the day, it's not up to you; it's up to them, because they're the ones putting themselves in that position.
Exactly. You have to meet everybody halfway. This goes for the model and the photographer. Yeah. So just keep all those things in mind, and I think everybody can be in the clear.
Yeah.
You know.
And then, I guess to continue going with that, don't send anybody any nudes.
No.
That are asking for via DM, because nobody needs to see what your figure looks like with no clothes on for a particular shoot or whatever.
And this is why it's important to be represented by an agency. This is harder when you're a model on the come up,
right?
And you're trying to get some work, and you thought like this might be an opportunity. So always get representation, even if it's a friend. Make sure that, you know, they can talk to whoever you're shooting with on a professional level, and that's it. If it feels wrong, it probably is.
Yeah,
that's it.
Listen to your gut.
Exactly.
And I want to put emphasis on bringing a friend, because I always recommend that. I'm like, listen, I would recommend you bringing a friend, just for one, safety for both parties.
Yes.
And two, encouragement, and just that comfortability, because it's like you're shooting for the first time with this particular person. You don't know them, especially if you're just getting into the game. If you have that other person there with you, you can vibe with that particular, like your friend. Like, let's say you bring your friend with you and you say, hey, you know, I'm doing the shoot, come with me, whatever. You're on set, you are comfortable with that person. And that might be that bridge that can connect you with the photographer. If nothing else works. You know what I mean? Because it's tough to do that. It's not easy. Modeling isn't easy.
It isn't. And like really a lot of people that are up and coming models, they're like first time shooters. They realize, they say, okay, models have to work. I thought this was easy.
Right.
I've seen so many times where like, this is actually hard work.
Yeah. I've actually been on set with one girl that shot with you and saw how hard it was, and she never modeled after that.
It's work. It's work.
It's a lot of work, man.
Speaking of, since again, I guess this is episode 20, photography, cinematography. I was on famous photographer Dallas Logan. I was on his Facebook, and he has the funniest questions. He puts them up all the time, and his are, what are your pet peeves as a photographer when it comes to clients? And the responses are so relatable. So
these are other photographers.
These are other photographers or creators, and they're always like, you know, what's a pet peeve of the client you're working with? And like most people would be like, when they ask for all the photos, and they're like, when is it going to be done? 5 seconds after the shoot, you know? So give me 5 of your top 5 pet peeves of you versus the client.
I don't know if I can give you 5, but one off the rip is definitely that, where it's like you sit with them and you pick a selection of photos that you both agree on.
Okay.
Because it's tough. It's like, and I explained this to, who was it the other day? To Sarah. Yep. We were on set for Sarah's video shoot, and she was like, "Oh, just pick whatever. I trust you." I was like, "I get that, and I appreciate that, but it's like certain things that I would see that you don't see, and vice versa."
Exactly.
For example, when I shot a dancer, right? I was like, "Oh, I really love this shot," but she was like, "Oh, it's just the form looks off."
Yeah.
But I don't know that because I'm not a dancer. You know what I mean?
True.
Same thing with Sarah. It's like, I don't know if you're in the right position. I don't know if you're I don't know if that's the right term, but stroking the what do they call it? The bow on the violin a particular way, or if that looks good or bad to you. So, you know, I always ask them like, you know, let's sit down, let's pick the top, whatever. And, what's so funny?
No, I'm saying I actually got to his questions. Like, what are some things you hate that clients do? Okay. So I was going to read some off.
Okay. So let me finish this idea. So, so when you pick the, let's say top 6 photos, okay, we're both agreeing on it. We both think it's super dope. These are the ones I'm going to edit. Yeah. And then once you're done sending those edits, they're like, do you think you can send me the rest of them? And I'm like,
and they don't understand that you're putting in extra time and they didn't pay for these extra edits. You're paying for the edits that we said you would receive. In a sense, you're trying to.
What's even worse is the photography I did to just build up my portfolio. Yeah. So I did it for free. And I understand that you're giving me your time as well, but it's like, come on.
Nah.
Come on,
now
bro.
You're trying to get a 6 for 12,
right? So it's like, come on, I'm doing this for free. I traveled out here. Yeah, I get it. You know, you gave me your time as well, but it's like, come on, bro. But yeah, and then they would post the raw images.
That's why you should never hand them over. We should never hand them
ever again.
Photographers,
it's not happening again.
Never hand over raws
because they'll post whatever they think is dope, and it's like that's not what we agreed on.
It's not edited. It doesn't
your work.
It doesn't reflect your work.
Right. So that's one of my pet peeves. Don't post my raws, bro.
Don't post my raws. These are some of the responses to Dallas Logan's "What are some things you hate that clients do?" One person says, "Event photography. Invite their family members to come take pictures alongside hired professional photographers. Tell Uncle Al to put the fucking iPad down."
Yo, that reminds me. We were at that wedding, I think sometime last year, remember? And who was it, Hedrick?
Yes.
That was taking photos, and homeboy with the camera was in there. He was like, yo, they paying me to take these shots, and you out here with your cell phone
that's how it is.
My shot.
Honestly, with a lot of the ladies, too, it's like I noticed that, like, when I just did big event photography at MetLife Stadium over the weekend, and people ask you to take pictures with their iPhones over yours, and I said, no, I'm here to be hired to take pictures. It has nothing to do with you, no offense. I'm here to be hired to use my camera.
Right.
So it gets annoying. Other people said, this was another response. They said, breathe, ? No, but this Dallas said, when you have a game plan with the client, shooting on location, then at the shoot, they want to do something different. You don't have the equipment to achieve it. That is very annoying when you and the client plan on something. They don't understand you took the steps to make this image come to life. And it's not like you can just do whatever and change it last minute.
Yeah. Like throwing a filter on it.
Yeah, there's some other people said invite other photographers or videographers to the shoot and be like, they just want to get a few shots. They said hell to the no. When the payment is late,
Oh, that's a good one.
When the client wants tons and tons of meetings and phone calls to discuss the project.
Oh, we went through that too.
Then, after that,
they go with somebody else.
They're trying to secure a slot without the deposit and then cancels at the last minute after promising they will be there. Then grandmother dies, but then you go to their Instagram and they're up in the club living their best life.
How many grandmas have died?
Too many.
That's happened to me before. It was another shoot that I was trying to plan, just to build up my portfolio. And just so happens this particular person texts me at 3:00 in the morning talking about, oh, I'm sick. The day before the shoot.
Or when they're constantly on their phones taking selfies behind the scenes.
Oh my God. I'm going to bash my head through a wall. But yeah, a lot of those we've been through and we go through on a consistent basis.
I had to stop at one shoot. Like everybody, I was setting up my shot. And this was constant lighting.
I know this.
Yeah, so the constant lighting was looking nice. The person behind the camera was feeling glamorous. And
behind or in front?
Well, in front of the camera.
I was gonna say, you're feeling glamorous.
I was feeling glamorous. Hair was on fleek. But no, like all the friends and people that had to yes this person just took out their cell phones, gathered around, and I lost it. I just said, everybody leave the room.
I remember that day.
I was just like, oh my God. It gets overwhelming. You're really trying to concentrate and it's just like too much. And everybody swears their iPhone's better than your $3,000 or $4,000 camera.
The T2Is.
Oh my God.
Let me see. I asked a question on Instagram earlier and I was trying to see if anybody would ask me questions, and then I got my trolls. Had to feed the trolls, but one good question.
What do trolls eat?
Your misery.
Oh shoot.
That's all they eat.
That's deep.
Do we get any initial pessimism from potential clients?
Yes, always. And that always comes when they're comparing you to somebody else. When they compare you to another artist, that's another problem. When they're saying, yeah, but I want it like this. And like, they're like, I always have to check people. I say, why did you approach me? And it's a rhetorical question.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you know why you approached me. You saw quality, right?
Right.
You came to me because you think I can bring your vision to life. I said, I got you. If you're paying the fee, I'm doing my duty as a photographer to make sure if we have to, we reshoot.
Yeah.
But we're gonna get it.
We gonna get it,
we're
right?
Gonna get it.
Yeah. I've experienced this several times. Actually, recently we had a meeting and I'm trying to see how I can explain this without outing the person because they listen. Fuck it. You listen to the podcast, so the shoe fits.
Oh shoot.
It was like a gig that I was trying to lock in for us, and we were being compared to another particular artist.
Okay.
I guess you could call him an artist, another photographer.
Yeah.
And I figured off the strength of just being friends, really good friends, we would get booked.
Gotcha.
With no questions asked.
Yeah.
And I asked several people about it, and I'm like, am I bugging or am I just like overthinking this? And, everybody seemed to be on my side as far as, if I'm your friend.
Yeah.
And I do photography.
Yeah.
I'm not going to look elsewhere. I'm going straight to you, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's my thing. It's like, for my engagement, I ain't going to anybody else. I'm already going straight to you. Like, yo, you hiding in the bushes and you're taking this shot with the 70-200.
Unfortunately, I don't have that many friends where everybody goes the opposite direction.
But
there are trolls that love
it's
to
either
live
that
off
or I got to do it myself, set up a fucking tripod.
I have too many trolls that love to live off my misery.
Yeah, but so it was like, that initial pessimism. And I know it's not him. It's more outside sources or whatever. But and I understand. But it's like at the same time, I started feeling insulted where it's like I was being constantly asked like, oh, do you have this? Yeah. That you haven't showed us. And I'm like, yeah, we showed you.
Well,
that.
If you shoot with somebody in the past too and you're happy with the product, it's like, what could be the concern?
My thoughts exactly. So yeah, initial pessimism, we do get that all the time.
Clients, there's another thing too that you guys can do. You guys can communicate. it's a raw business. So always put everything on the table. Say what you want to receive from the photographer. And most of the time, it's not a problem. If they're professional, they can make it happen. If they're considered professional, they can make it happen.
Especially if you see their portfolio and you see what they bring to the table.
Yeah.
Like, I would say off one video, I can see what somebody does, but that's just me.
Exactly.
And
your project, again, you can't compare projects too. Everybody has there might be better performers than you. So what you're seeing behind the camera doesn't mean, I can do my job, but if you're not doing your job, doesn't mean it's going to come out as spectacular as you thought.
Amen.
Oh, there's my nose again. I don't know. Is allergy season going to summer? Am I just bugging? So. Jeez.
It's that cocaine.
Oh, Jesus.
Do you have any topics to talk about?
I wanted to do something.
I'm just looking something up.
I wanted to do something like, do you remember Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yes.
They used to do the prop thing. And since we were both traveling, I was trying to find my my airplane pillow, like the U-shaped pillow. And I was gonna go back and forth for like a minute for us to like make scenes and scenarios out of the prop, and I thought it was gonna be hilarious, but I couldn't find it.
Damn.
So we could do something else with that. Like we could
set that up for some other day, maybe.
That's what I'm saying. But I thought it would have been hilarious.
Would have. I do remember that. I do love that show, though.
Oh, it's a great show.
So, let me see. Someone asked me, and I don't know if you've been keeping up with like the San Diego Comic-Con news, but they were asking me about the Comic-Con news and what are our thoughts about the new movies and all that. I think in particular the Marvel Studios plans. Have you been keeping up with that? Do you need me to read up on anything that's coming up?
I think I saw the one that you previewed about Thor.
That's gonna be dope.
I'm really interested with Blade. I think who they chose for Blade,
Mashallah Ali.
Yes, he is dope. Going to be perfect.
I was really big on like Jamie Foxx the whole time, and I never thought about him. And I'm like, yeah, he's good. He's perfect. Great.
Yeah. No, it's oh my god.
Yeah,
I'm excited for that.
I'm excited for that. I'm excited for Thor. One, because Taika Waititi is directing it and writing it also.
He's a great director.
He is amazing.
Well, I mean, he's an actor too. But.
He's super dope. And Natalie Portman's coming back, and she's gonna play female Thor.
Yes,
which should be cool. Let's see. Let's go down the line.
That's a big role for her.
Yeah. Well, she was on it before. She was like his love interest in the first two movies, and then she like disappeared for a little while.
That's cool. She got a little preview.
Yeah,
we got a little preview of her.
Yes, sir. So the Eternals are coming out. I'm not too familiar with the Eternals. I'm going to do my research on them.
Okay.
But Angelina Jolie is supposed to be like one of the big stars in that movie. They got a lot of fucking stars.
I want
the next project.
A Carnage movie with Jim Carrey.
It's not happening with Jim Carrey.
Please, somebody.
It's going to be Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson?
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding?
Kid you not?
Really?
At least in the Venom, because I think Venom is separate from the Marvel universe, but he was at the end credits of the
Did they even
Venom
give
movie.
a preview of Carnage? No, right?
It was like one of the post-credit scenes of the Venom movie.
Okay.
Which I was okay with. I'm okay with Woody Harrelson doing that. But I did want to see Jim Carrey. I was like real big on watching Jim Carrey doing it. But I think that's the route they're going with.
Is there any, like, have you from day one had any different, would you have picked anybody differently for some of your favorite characters? Like, who would you have play Wolverine, like, instead of Hugh Jackman? Like,
Hugh Jackman's just got that role on lock, man.
He's too tall for Wolverine.
I know, but he, like...
Who would you replace? Let's get in your director bag. Let's see... Like, if you're a director, you're Jay, you're coming out with a Wolverine series.
For Wolverine, it will definitely be Tom Hardy.
All right, so it's Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
All right, we got Tom Hardy.
Though I do love Hugh Jackman.
Okay.
Tom Hardy fits the stature more.
Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
What's the synopsis? Are you doing your rendition of the beginning of Wolverine? Like, what's happening?
I would definitely not do what they did with the first three movies.
Okay.
Or the first two. But I was a huge fan of Logan. I love the darkness of it because he's a very dark character. You know, he's the lone wolf.
True.
Found love here and there.
I think a lot of these characters are like dark, but they don't perceive that.
Right. So, and that's what I like about Spider-Man. Spider-Man has like he uses humor to cope with his darkness and trauma that he's experienced.
That's why I think it's very like, even though it's DC universe, like we keep going back to it. I do, but I think Dark Knight was just so well executed.
Absolutely.
So well.
What I loved about those is that Christopher Nolan, the director, he was real big on trying to make it as realistic as possible.
Yes.
So when he was choosing the villains, he was making sure the villains were not somebody with like superpowers. You know what I mean? Because Batman is like a human being with gadgets and shit. So that's why he picked the Joker. He picked Bane, Scarecrow. So he didn't pick anybody like, I don't know, who has superpowers.
Arnold Schwarzenegger as Iceman.
Mr. Freeze.
Yo, Mr. Freeze.
Stuff like that. Just try to make it as realistic as possible. But yeah, Wolverine, I would probably explore the love interests that he's had on the dark side.
Who would you have me play as a Marvel character, and what movie would it be like?
You?
Yeah.
A Marvel movie.
Yeah.
You're too tall for Wolverine.
Oh yeah.
Maybe Quicksilver.
Interesting. Why that? Why that character?
You fit the characteristics of him.
Well, okay.
Or Iceman, because Iceman just came out as gay recently.
As what?
Gay recently.
Like the character himself?
Yeah, in the comics he came out as gay.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Well, damn.
No, Quicksilver. I'm just fucking with you. Either that or like young Magneto.
Young Magneto?
Because of the hair.
Interesting.
Yeah. Unless you want to be old Magneto.
No, that'd be an interesting role. That'd be an interesting role. Interesting take on the movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who would I play?
Interesting. I would have you as Beast before Beast. Yeah.
He's so boring. He's just really smart.
Yeah, but like you can make it pop.
And dealing with insecurities. Beast before.
I mean, Iceman, like, super dope. Like I remember like having the, at least, playing video games or whatever. I like to choose those. I guess like I would like to play Gambit. But like,
didn't even think of that. I like Gambit is actually one of my favorite characters.
Gambit's super dope.
I modeled my game after Gambit.
I would let myself age and play Cable. I know I'm not ripped like that. They would have to CGI.
Give me some muscles.
Yeah. But like Cable. Oh, you know what I could? Get a little bit more of a tan. You could play Bishop.
You were gonna say that too. I would need a really dark tan for that.
Yeah.
Bishop.
I always
has
want
the Jerry curls though.
I always want to see a solo movie about Nightcrawler, and I know like I don't know if a lot of the world would like that or is too involved with Nightcrawler, but I think he was always a crazy character.
They did make an announcement that they're gonna bring the XMen into the Marvel universe, so I'm interested to see what characters they're gonna bring and who they're gonna pick as actors to portray these particular actors.
Ooh, you know what I would want to see come to life?
Yeah.
A Marvel versus Capcom movie.
Oof. That would be so dope.
Right? Maybe that we put in the universe.
They need to make a good Street Fighter movie first. I know they're working on Mortal Kombat movie. James Wan is directed in the Mortal Kombat movie.
I know they excited me as a child because I was like, maybe I didn't know better. Looking back on some are corny. So if they execute it well,
yeah,
I think a lot of these indie filmmakers really kill the concepts.
Like the YouTubers.
Yeah,
there's a lot of YouTube directors, or I don't want to insult them by calling them that, but directors that posted their material on YouTube. They did one, the Mortal Kombat one in particular, where it was like more realistic.
Yeah,
where they didn't follow the whole tournament thing.
Yeah.
And it was more of they had what's his name? Jax and Sonya Blade as like lead detectives on this case. Yeah.
And then they had those like crazy ass fight scenes
like
in between.
They were finding Scorpion, who was a fugitive because he murdered somebody. I forget what it was, but I thought that was a pretty cool concept. And yeah, so they also announced ShangChi, which is another character I don't know much about, but he's an Asian character, which is yay to them for diversity.
Exactly.
Let me see.
Well, I mean, honestly, even like Stan Lee took a lot of these leaps and bounds where, even that post I shared recently that I know you saw where Stan Lee, when he first created Spider-Man, nobody was feeling the character that he was. That it was a teen, that he had teen problems, that his name was Spider-Man. Like, they were like, "What are you thinking?" And he actually he stuck to his plan and his gut,
which makes the character the most lovable one because he has regular issues while trying to build this persona as a superhero, which is super. But that's why I love Spider-Man.
I think I'm attracted to a lot of superheroes, I guess, from an artistic standpoint. Like, growing up, I loved any character that didn't that looked like Black Panther, Deadpool, Iron Man, the ones that have like really cool suits or armor with a really badass look. I've always been attracted to those characters. And I can see that. Super, super dope.
Yeah. So they also announced Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, which is supposed to be the first MCU Marvel Universe horror movie.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's not a follow-up to...
It is a follow-up, but the whole base premise of the movie is supposed to be like a horror themed.
Interesting.
Yeah. Because apparently I don't know too much about the character, but from my research, it's like he battles a lot of like demons and sorcerers and stuff like that. And
if they do that in IMAX 3D, that might be cool.
Yeah, the first one was really dope.
Yeah,
I was a big fan of that. There's a what do you think about Disney Plus? Have you heard about Disney Plus?
I have not.
So Disney Plus is supposed to be Disney's streaming service.
Okay.
And it's gonna get Netflix the F up out of here.
Oh, that I heard. Okay.
Yeah, I think we talked about it once.
Gotcha.
And I mentioned it to you briefly, but they're supposed to drop in the fall.
Okay.
I think in November. I could be wrong, but it's supposed to be dropping soon because they announced all these Marvel TV shows.
Disney is a brand and a company I have a lot more faith in and I'm talking about, since I am a Star Wars fan. I love what they did with Star Wars. They caught the ball and they kept running to the finish line.
Yeah.
And I have to give it to them. They've been doing it justice. It's not overly done. I think it's staying true to the trilogy. So I mean, Disney creates a lot of classics. They have some of the top. If you guys look into Pixar and everything like that, the advancements in everything that they've given us, and you can see with the movies that are coming out between Lion King and Aladdin, like, the money has been there.
Yeah.
So I don't see how they could fail.
Yeah. And it's like a big money flex to Netflix too, because they're only going to charge $6.99 a month.
Yeah.
My theory is that they are going to get Netflix up out of here to the point where Netflix is just going to bow out because they're already in debt. And I feel like once that comes up, because...
Do you think what would you compare Netflix to? Is Netflix like Snapchat? Is like the Disney
Snapchat is still alive.
Instagram? I know.
Snapchat adapted.
But that's what I'm saying.
Still alive.
Do you think Netflix will adapt?
Netflix has to come up with something very, very big. And the only big thing that I can think of, Disney already took, which is sports. Disney already owns ESPN.
Netflix is one of the originators, though. So when it comes to what they provide in their service, what I'm thinking that they could do, what they're probably going to do, is make it even more interactive. You know what I'm saying?
They need like something different. Because they're losing and they're going to lose. They're barely above water at this point.
If Netflix kind of combines into a YouTube where there's no more limitations on what people can upload because of the equipment that they use, I think it'll be an interesting strategy because it'll be,
I see what you're saying.
You know, for independent filmmakers to be able to get onto Netflix,
I see,
and they are a provider and a service for people that they can like say yay or nay, but there's no more limitations. Like even if it's a short, say it's like 5 minutes, but it's something beautiful.
I see.
That might change the game.
Maybe.
Because that's where, I mean, even Dame Dash is giving people services and independent artists where there's people that, there's, you know, directors and shows Netflix said nay to, and now they're getting showed on other platforms.
Yeah.
And they're picking up through social media. So if Netflix kind of gives a gateway to that, or it's like a YouTube/Netflix type of deal.
Yeah.
Might change.
Maybe. I don't know if that'll be enough though, because I don't know. I feel like Disney's just gonna get them up out of here, and I feel like they've been plotting this for such a long time.
Well, like Disney's like Sony in the music industry. Yeah. They're so large that it's it's
impossible to compete, because it's like, because you think about Disney, right? You think about just the Disney movies, right?
Yeah.
They have Star Wars, they have Marvel, anything associated with Marvel. Now they have anything Fox related. So they have The Simpsons. They have Family Guy. They have ESPN. They have, I think they own Hulu as well, if I'm not mistaken. So anything under that umbrella, Netflix stands no chance.
Yeah, and it's from like adults to children.
Mm-hmm.
They have
everything down the line.
They literally have everything.
Everything. So let me see what else they announced. Wanda Vision, which is
you said Wanda Vision?
Wanda Vision, which is Vision and Scarlet Witch TV show, which is supposed to be the prequel to, not a prequel, but it's supposed to lead into Doctor Strange movie, because Scarlet Witch is supposed to be in the Doctor Strange movie. Then Loki, you watched Endgame with us, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So remember when Loki disappeared with the Tesseract?
Yes. So
it's going to take place. He has his own TV show coming out.
Okay.
With the events taking place from when he disappeared with the Tesseract. Mm. So he's supposed to be like jumping back and forth through time, just messing around with like the timeline.
Dope.
Let's see.
Oh, quick thing. Speaking of Netflix again, I think if Netflix took to cinema, like they made their shows even bigger, like I think Netflix should be a host or a provider for certain series and shows, but their bigger expansion could be in cinema. So I'm thinking like Stranger Things, if they did Stranger Things the movie to wrap up each like season, that'd be crazy. What do you think about that?
That's a good idea. The thing is, I don't know if any of these ideas would keep them afloat though.
Yeah, but like think about like already successes. Like Netflix is known for their series, right? Uh-huh. So whether you have Daredevil, whether you have
doesn't exist anymore.
Well,
because Marvel,
unfortunately. But I'm saying like anything that's been a success, like if it'd be cool and it'd be exciting, because everybody, it's like it's corresponding with everything else. So it's like, okay, I'm watching Stranger Things, last 3 seasons. I don't think season 4 is coming, and then you see a trailer for Stranger Things,
the movie,
the finale, like, but it's movie style, and then it's like 3 hours of Stranger Things. You sell out the box office because you already know it has a following. Listen, we should be Netflix. We should be at your board meetings because.
But then what happens after that, though?
What
after
happens?
That's over.
If you're already in debt, the thing is, if you're gonna take another chance, like. We all know about chances in this industry. Yeah. So,
because if you're gonna make a movie, you're gonna end the series right then and there, right?
You are, but I feel it's like, you know how we're talking about like bigger albums, like the Chris Brown stuff of like how things are going with like bigger numbers and stuff like that. I'm saying if you do bigger projects where it's like people love to binge watch, but now you're given whatever you would do in a season, right? Because
dedicated to a movie.
Dedicated, it's usually 8 episodes. You're already putting in that time, and like each episode is 45 to an hour. So if you're putting an even movie, you're getting the box office tickets. You already know your show is a success. So now even if you're not at the same level as Disney, you're starting to build to be as big as Disney because you're taking over the box office. The box office, it's like. How can you lose when you already have something that's a win? Yeah, some people are going to disagree, like, the movie was ass compared to the series, blah, 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 blah. That can happen to anything. But I'm thinking, again, if you already have a success, there's certain shows and series, like, what if they had a Black Mirror movie that came out right after the series that's, like, one of the, like, the illest ideas from their whole, like, you know, series, and like it's just a great finale. I think that would work for Netflix because Netflix is not just a TV show series provider. You already have a cinematic appeal. Why not take it to the box office?
Because their movies suck.
No, but this is where you get somebody to where you realize where your weakness is. You make it your strength, and that's how you become unstoppable. Wherever Disney has probably fallen in the past, Disney has more of a chance to fall now because they're saying, oh, it's 2019. We're remaking the things that people grew up on. That's sensitive. Everything right now is brand new and fresh. Like Stranger Things, everybody's talking about it, right? What else? What's other shows that people are talking about on Netflix?
Not many. And that's the problem.
I know. I mean, but they had
Stranger Things is their biggest one. That's the thing.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you know, the brothers that, you know, directed, like, they're geniuses. You're working with geniuses.
Yeah.
So, like, one good thing can overpower tons of things.
Can't overpower Disney, though.
I mean, when you become a monopoly, when you own basically everything, like, what can you do? Yes, I agree with that. Anything. But
I like that movie idea though.
Why not?
That might be a start. But I don't know. I don't feel like it'll be enough because it's just like Disney is like flexing all over the place. It's like we own all this stuff. We're gonna yank it out of your services. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to charge less than you guys.
But who do you like? The super popular person or the underdog sometimes?
I like the underdog sometimes. And I did want Netflix to succeed, but it's like Disney has way too much stuff that I'm interested in.
I mean, I have to agree. Like, even for Disney, like when you get Star Wars, like I'm not going to wait on Netflix to come out with a Star Wars trilogy.
Because it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. Especially in the politics of the game, when you own all the rights to everything, it's like it's over. It's over.
So, to continue this San Diego Comic-Con thing, Hawkeye is getting his own show. Shout out to Hawkeye. Underrated superhero.
Yeah, I can see why, though.
Fuck you, man.
You know what?
He's one of my favorites, man.
Yeah.
Black Widow is getting her own thing. Yeah. I think hers is a movie. I think hers is going to be more interesting than Captain Marvel. I feel like Captain Marvel was so... The movie itself was good. I just hate the actress. I don't hate her. I dislike the actress. She was so blah. Yeah. So vanilla on screen.
At least vanilla's got flavor.
Yeah, but you want to kind of throw like cookie crumbles or like chocolate fudge in there. You know what I'm saying? And then the last one is Blade.
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 I love Blade.
I want to see Blade because they're making a Morpheus movie. Morpheus is a Spider-Man villain that's like a vampire.
Oh, I thought you meant like from Matrix. I was like,
no, Morpheus.
That's weird.
Is his name Morpheus? I'm pretty sure. Hold on. Yes, and Jared Leto's playing Morpheus.
Okay. Jared Leto plays too many damn characters.
Jared Leto needs to find like a good freaking Morbius. My bad. Morbius is like a vampire, kind of like Dracula type thing.
I feel like Jared Leto.
He's a good actor. I just feel like he hasn't found that role just yet. I think the Joker was like supposed to be his thing, but it's just like his depiction of the Joker, which I kind of enjoyed. A lot of people hated it, but
I'm going through my head of like all these characters, and I'm like, which one would Jared Leto just, kill?
Hopefully he kills Morbius. I'm cheering for him, but I just don't see that working. It's like, how are you gonna like?
Morbius is like, you got to be a hardcore fan to understand.
Exactly. Like, it's like, how are you gonna market that? It's
not like general public, like, oh, Spider-Man, you know, like,
yeah. Unless you market it in that way, where it's like kind of what they were trying to do with the Sinister Six movies, was like based on the villains of Spider-Man, but it's gonna cross over with Spider-Man, unless their plans, which I don't think so, because this is like a different studio.
Like whoever chose
crossover
Blade,
with Blade.
There's certain people that like, yes, you're in the boardroom for a reason. Other people, like when they were choosing, who's the gentleman that plays War Machine?
Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle.
Mm-hmm.
I would never. No. Like if anything, they should have chosen someone like Jamie Foxx over Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
Like Jamie Foxx is more of like
I wasn't a huge fan of Don Cheadle.
That's what I'm saying. Like
it's kind of just like blah.
Jamie Foxx is more quirky. Like that's how I remember War Machine. War Machine had his shit together. He was like badass.
Yeah.
But he's also like, you know, putting jokes. Like he was like Tony's, like he fucked around with Tony. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like
he was like his kind of grounded Tony.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of Don Cheadle, but he kind of grew on me. But I do agree, like they could have picked a better character. Like, remember in the first movie, it was why can't I remember his name? Terrence Howard. Terrence Howard then, like, fit the image better, but his acting is just blah.
Even then, like I don't like shapely and all that. Like I'm not like you need somebody like Jamie.
Will Smith would have been perfect.
Yeah, yeah. He would just
the look.
Yeah.
Because he's more of like a lighter skin.
He's a lot more. At
least in the comics, he was lighter.
Yeah. War Machine, I still imagine like a little darker. Like it's not even like
Will
about
Smith
the skin. It's it's not like the skin. Like I know, like War Machine was just.
He had that swag to him.
He had a swag.
He was like semi-serious.
Yes.
But joked around a little bit.
Like he could joke around because he had his shit down packed.
Right.
And like Don Cheadle he's a little dorky for me for the scene. Sorry.
Sounds forced, I think.
Yeah, it
feels forced.
It does. It definitely does.
But
Will Smith as War Machine. It's just I'm laughing crazy, in my head because I'm imagining like if he shot off rockets that he started laughing. Like I don't know. That would have been crazy. I'd just be like, that's Will Smith.
The Fresh Prince is a War Machine.
You know who could kind of play War Machine if he was like super ripped and taller?
Who?
You're gonna probably laugh at me. Donald Glover.
I like Donald Glover.
I feel like he could pick up on War Machine's charisma.
Yeah, I think so.
You know?
I agree with that. But he's definitely too small.
He's too small.
But Don Cheadle's fucking small.
I know.
They're probably the same size.
Don Cheadle just doesn't.
He doesn't do it for me. Have you ever seen his Captain America skit? No. I mean, Captain Planet skit?
No. I could see that.
Oh my God.
He reminds me more of like a dad. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't give me that.
He definitely gives off dad vibes.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Let me see if I can find it. It's like this skit. Don Cheadle. Captain Planet. It's the first thing that pops up when you put Don Cheadle. It's on Funny or Die. You remember the website Funny or Die?
Yes.
Well, Don Cheadle did this skit for Funny or Die. It's like a parody of it.
I've seen this.
So for anybody who's not watching the YouTube, but
yes, I've seen
just type in Captain Planet Don Cheadle on YouTube and watch this stupidity.
They've never made a dope Captain Planet movie.
I think the character is just like a little too cheesy to make a movie out of. Don't you think?
Yeah, but
it's
the
like
thing
a guy is like eco-friendly. He's like, oh my God, we gotta save the world.
Yeah, but you can make it dope. If you have enough creativity, this is where it's our chance to do it. I'm not going to wait on somebody else. I'm going to take our childhood favorites and we're going to make them to where we see them fit.
What, outside of Captain Planet, what childhood movie would you like to see on the big screen?
I want to see like Mega Man, but I would redo it. Like I would do Mega Man with like Zero, his brother. Like I would incorporate these characters.
Animated or...
In between. In between. You saw what they did with that movie. What was it called? You know, Alita.
Yeah.
I would do Alita. I would take that spin, but I would incorporate it into Mega Man.
I like that.
Yeah. So like Dr. Cloud might be like somebody real.
I like that.
And this and that. But like Mega Man is kind of like, since he is like, I don't know, a cyborg.
Like an experiment type
yeah,
thing,
yeah. Like I would do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. Mega Man's cool. Because I know they're trying to make Sonic and they can't just seem to get it right.
I do Mega Man. You know what I would want to do?
I want to see Metroid. Like I don't know why nobody has touched Metroid. That'd be so hard. That would be so dope, especially in this age, because it's like a female.
You know what we should? Do? I know this is like ideas on camera, but I feel like we should go to Comic-Con, find these people, and like maybe find a good special effects person and do like 2-minute trailers of like these movies and see if it like
catches. Yeah.
I've
seen some people doing like Power Rangers stuff on YouTube and stuff.
I would want to. I know mine are like a lot of video games turn movies, but I feel like there's enough stories. Like I would want to do a Toe Jam and Earl movie. I would want to do a Battletoads movie.
I know they were trying to make a Duke Nukem movie.
Oh yeah,
with John Cena as Duke Nukem.
I can definitely see that.
So can I.
That's amazing. Whoever had that idea, please run with it.
Yeah, I would like to see that. Definitely a Metroid movie. I want to see.
They did. There's so many. They did Doom.
Yeah. So, they did with The Rock.
Yeah.
And it was kind of
Quake. Remember Quake?
Quake. I do remember that. There's a bunch of video games that I think would be dope as movies.
100%.
They're making an Uncharted movie.
Wow.
And Tom Holland, the dude that plays Spider-Man, is going to be Nathan Drake, which I think is perfect.
See, there's so many things that they could like make like fortunes off of. Like if you took Magic the card game and like made it into a film that has, you know, characters like, I don't know, try to find ways to incorporate, you know.
I know they were trying to make a Call of Duty movie. I don't know if they're still making it.
Yeah, but that's like, it's weird because now you're just like, you're making another like, you know, Tom Hanks
like a
movie.
War movie.
Yeah, you're making a war movie.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I would just do I don't know. Like I think it was really smart of what's his name, Cooper. He's the filmmaker that was giving more of a serious twist to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh, what's his name?
I thought last name was Cooper.
That would be a dope idea, though.
Yeah.
I do actually want to see that come to light.
Yeah,
I think it's Cooper Films or something like that.
Like people from the 90s grew up on 90210. People grew up on like Full House, Boy Meets World. Like you can take a little bit of a twist like of the characters.
Mm-hmm.
You can add a little bit more reality to it. You can take away a little of the comical aspect. You can add more drama.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much to expand on because you just go off a little bit of that nostalgia and relatability. The rest is good to go.
I'm trying to find the guy's name. Hold on. Is it this one? It is this one. Morgan Cooper. Yeah.
Like that's dope.
Released? I think it was supposed to be like not like a short, but it's supposed to be like an Instagram type thing.
I don't know. I feel like that's dope. Like, you know, like what if there was like what was I gonna say? Kind of like if they gave like a spin-off of like what was I gonna say? Oh, like Back to the Future. Like I miss like Michael J. Fox killed it. Like he or like they just need to bring back some of these blockbusters, but like have it so the new generation still knows what's up.
Do you think like, oh shit, hold on, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
But before I get to that question, do you think Back to the Future is a movie that should not be touched as a remake? I know they just made the Child's Play movie, and I heard it was okay.
I think there's incredible actors that could continue it. Like I feel there can always like there should be a movie. Like I respect the movie more when there's a baton pass. So like if it started off where like my
Segway Jesus working right now.
I'm saying so like a baton pass where it's like if I'm a director, I'm actually if they're still alive, I'm getting the old guys and like having Michael J. Fox on his deathbed. He tells his grandson like, hey, I have these plans, like you got to check this out, or there's something in my basement, and then that kid's so cool, you fall in love with that character.
This is my idea.
Yeah.
Segway Jesus working without even working.
Amazing.
Ghostbusters.
Yes.
I have the perfect cast for the Ghostbusters.
Hit me.
To pass the baton.
Okay.
All the kids from Stranger Things.
Damn. That'd be hard.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the Stranger Things cast. They have such a bright future. Like each one of them are special. Like you think about each I know you haven't watched the show yet in full, but like each one like nobody passes the other. Like even if they're like one of the main characters, you're looking into everybody's.
Yeah.
Like they're incredible actors.
They're freaking amazing
personalities,
and they're perfect because it was one black dude.
Exactly.
They can all pass the baton.
That'd
and I know
crazy.
one of the main characters. I think they're supposed to be making a new Ghostbusters. I don't know if they're passing the baton type thing. I'm pretty sure they are.
What do you feel has had its time that it's a classic now that you look back on it? Like I don't know, like does something instantly become a classic, or it's kind of like Austin Powers? When we were watching it as kids, it was great. We didn't see it as a classic. Like, I guess it has a hint of it, but now you look back, it's like Austin Powers, classic of our time. So like, what has had its time to pass where you're like, this is a fucking classic of our generation?
Off the jump?
Yeah, off the jump. Or something new. That's what I'm saying, for like the next generation, like my brother's generation or something. Like, is there
something that's out now or came out recently?
Yeah, that you feel like you can foresee it being a classic.
TV show or movie?
Either or. I would rather you movie, but
movie. I'm trying to think of what came out recently.
You know how like you look back and you're like, Cool Runnings just ends up being a classic. It's like a small little film, but it's that's a classic.
Damn. It's like I feel like I've watched so many movies, like they're like filing through my head right now.
I understand.
I can't think of one. Can I come back to that?
You can come back. But I thought it was a cool question because like sometimes we don't realize we're living.
Yeah.
Maybe the people that watch Star Wars were like, I don't know. But like now, it's a classic.
Yeah.
What was that movie Martin Short was in with he gets like the long nose and stuff like that?
Martin Short?
Yeah.
When's the last time you heard that name?
I know, right? Certain movies he had, it was like classic though.
He dropped I think a Netflix special recently with Steve Martin.
Gotcha.
Classic. You know what I think may be a classic comedy that's coming out soon?
Yeah.
There's this movie directed or produced by Seth Rogen.
Okay.
It's called Good Boys. It gives me a lot of like super bad vibes.
See. I don't know. It's like
foreseeing.
I don't know if we're just used to each other, but like this is where I was going with it because I was gonna say Superbad. Like Superbad is a classic.
Yeah.
We didn't realize it at the time, but it's a classic.
Yeah. But I feel like that's our generation, no?
No, it's still here. Like it's beginning.
Generation.
Yeah, it's beginning of. Like
I mean, if we're thinking about stuff like that, then yeah.
Like
Anchorman, Step Brothers. A lot of Will Ferrell movies I would throw up there.
Yeah.
Not even the biggest.
And do you give it to Will Ferrell or do you give it to the director? Like who brought it to life?
Combination of everybody, I guess.
But if you took people that
can play that role of Will Ferrell.
True.
As Will Ferrell in every freaking movie.
That's true.
Old School was always a big one for me.
Old School, yeah.
A lot of comedies, I would say.
Comedies get it easy because they all have that, I don't know, that thing about them where it's like, oh, you kind of, what is the word? You kind of praise the comedian.
Yeah.
And the environment that you put them in. So like that's easier. But I'm saying like when it comes to like a drama or a horror film, like do we have any classics?
I honestly prefer horror and drama movies. If you can if you can get me to either feel really sad, or terrified, I'm invested and I'm good.
Okay.
Because people think I'm weird that I like sad movies. No. I really love sad movies.
It's weird. As I've been getting older, there's some moments where like I find the movies are way more touching. Like I can get choked up. I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Horror movies. James Wan has been putting out a lot of good stuff with the Annabelle, and he's been like crossing these movies like with each other. Like the Conjuring and the Annabelle movies are crossing over with each other.
Did you see Midsommar?
Yeah, it's trash.
Really?
Yeah, it's really bad.
Damn.
Really, really bad.
Shit, man. I was excited.
It's like one of those movies that it was just too... It felt like the Da Vinci Code in the sense that it was way too many codes to the point where you won't get it unless you read up on it.
Gotcha.
And I don't like movies like that.
Okay.
Like I enjoy a movie that has... what's the word I'm looking for? Hidden messages in certain things, but not when it's so deep into the movie where the director has to tell you what it is.
Okay.
You know? And it's just like...
That's
it was
not
like,
the point. The movie should be telling you.
Right. It should be... It dragged a lot.
Yeah. You don't want to watch behind the scenes to find out what the movie's about.
Right. So it was like it dragged a lot. It felt like it was gonna have some potential and then it just fizzled out. And then it ended where it was like, that's it. And the movie was 2.5 hours long.
So they should have released it on Netflix.
Basically. Yeah, but it was really bad, man. And I was looking forward to that movie because I really love Hereditary. Watch Hereditary if you love horror movies.
I know. It's actually because I saw that movie and I thought, like, fuck, I would be freaked out because
would have had me hooked. He would have had me in the palm of his hand, and Midsommar was great.
Gotcha.
I love when they did not like it.
I love when horror films mix real history with horror concepts. Like, I was always thinking, like, what do you think of this concept? I know it probably sounds crazy, but what if it was like, we take the idea of slavery and all the white people that like hurt slaves or families of, the slaves come back and haunt them in some like 2019 shit.
Whoa.
And they do the same things to them and people don't know what's going on.
That sounds crazy.
That'd be dope though, right?
That sounds like some reverse Get Out shit.
Right?
I like that.
That'd be hard.
Yeah. You should write a lot of your ideas down because you have a fucking sick mind.
I'm sorry.
But that is a cool concept.
Wouldn't it be hard? Because you're like, shit, like, like you're like, this happened on the grounds, and then it's like, it could be some like private,
it's like a paranormal type thing, or more.
It could be like that. It could be like, if I was like doing the trailer for you, right?
And then the plot twist is just like one of the ancestors.
Because it would start out like real nice, like
a slave.
You would have like, you know, it would like be like a market. Like, you know, somewhere in the South, like somebody's picking out some peaches and stuff like that. And then like, I don't know, you see a fly on the peach and then like tons of them come around and like it's some crazy shit. And then it's like, it's just showing that like life ain't sweet. It hasn't always been like this. And then the next thing you know, it's like, you know, you see one house within the town and like there's a white guy hanging from the tree.
Whoa.
And you're just like people like, what happened? Like, how did this happen? And you're like looking back and it's just like the background music would be like slave song, which would make it eerie to me. Right. And it's like slave song is very like, I don't want to like, it was very religious, but I want like, and the thing is, I don't even think the hearts of the black people would do that to white people, but I would feel like from an aggression standpoint or just seeing like how sick of what white people did to black people on an opposite spectrum, I feel like that would open your mind plus be a horror film because there are spirits on the grounds and things shouldn't be settled. So I feel like, or a family goes to visit an old plantation and like it's like an Airbnb vibe and like shit just starts going awry.
My plot twist for that would be where it's like a paranormal type thing, but then you find out at the end the person behind it was an ancestor or not something an ancestor, like that, but a relative of a slave. And what if the poster person they're fucking with is a relative of the slave owner?
Like my poster for the movie, I know this sounds crazy, would be like a white kid with whip marks on his back.
Ooh. So Jesus.
Nah. No, but I'm saying like
Passion of the Christ.
I would want it to be really like, I don't know why I would want to do that, but I'm just saying like, I mean, I kind of do, but like I felt like
it's interesting.
It'd be
but in this climate, do you think it'll work?
Yeah,
be a lot of offended people.
Yeah, but like I feel like if you're not making work that, I wouldn't say like offends people, but like you gotta spark some conversation, and it's not just for conversation purposes. It's to say like, wow, that was disgusting. I couldn't even really watch it, because now you're reflecting like, yeah, that did happen. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like you put it in a different, like, again, the pill and the applesauce. I just get it. It'd be a crazy concept to me.
It would be. I agree.
Yeah.
So we have about 2 minutes left on this one take. I just wanted to take the time to say safe travels.
Yeah, man, same.
What are you looking forward to on this trip?
I haven't seen my dad in 3 years. Yeah. And my grandma turned 90. Unfortunately, she's not doing all the best, but I'm just happy to be
90, man.
She's 90.
She made it all the way to 90.
She's been strong, man. She's been strong. And the thing is, like, I don't think she'd be... It just came like she's like 90 and like tables turn real quick. And I think it's just because, she's been in a couple accidents over the years and stuff like that. And I think that's what took the toll. Not on a sad note, but I'm just saying, like, I think I just need to visit. When you feel instinctively like you gotta be somewhere.
You have to. Yeah.
And I need a vacation at the same time, so I enjoy my family.
Recharge the batteries. That's basically what I'm looking forward to. Just recharging the batteries. Enjoying Europe for the first time.
Yeah, man.
Wish it would have been with you, but
listen, we got a whole life ahead of us, man.
We'll figure it out.
Whole life ahead of us.
Yeah, man. That was episode 20.
Yes.
Episode 20 of the Terrible Recession podcast. I'm glad that we were able to record this. That way we could release something when I get back. That way we don't have too much time in between episodes. But this should be out sometime in the week of the 4th, hopefully.
Yeah.
But like I didn't mention earlier, but jump on Spotify, follow us on Spotify. Apple Podcasts, make sure you leave a review, leave a rating. Like we always mention, it'll shoot us up in the podcasts to get viewed by other people. And YouTube, always go on YouTube, like, subscribe, leave a comment, leave us a like, turn on the bell notification so when we release these videos, you can get a notification straight to your phone to go check it out.
Yeah.
And with that said,
hit him with the intro in the outro.
What's that one?